Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. Here is Ozzie, who plays the part of Ozzie Nelson. And, of course, his lovely wife, Harriet, as Harriet Nelson. The older of the Nelson boys, David, appears as David Nelson. And his younger brother, the irrepressible Ricky, played by Ricky Nelson. The Nelson's next-door neighbor, Thorny, is played by Don DeFore.
Now, do you see anything you like, Mrs. Nelson?
Yes, I was just looking at those coins. They're very interesting.
Oh, yes, they are rather unusual, aren't they? They're Spanish doubloons. There's quite a history attached to those.
Oh, really?
Yes, in fact, there was an article in last Sunday's paper about them. I think I thought I had the article, but I guess I don't. Well, anyway, they're supposed to be part of the original treasure of Camino Palmero.
Oh, yes, it seems to me I saw something about that. I thought it was just a legend, though.
Oh, no, not according to some of our leading historians. Of course, nobody's ever turned up any large quantities of these, but it's pretty generally accepted there's quite a fortune buried somewhere in this vicinity.
How about that?
Of course, I imagine it must have been buried pretty deep, or someone would have unearthed it by now.
Still, it's an exciting thought.
Yes, it is at that. You know, I imagine almost everybody has dreamed of finding gold in his own backyard in one form or another.
Well, are these particular coins very rare?
No, not especially. These are coins that were left at the old mission. They're, of course, part of the original treasure, but not especially valuable in themselves.
They are unusual looking, though.
Yes, they are. You know, they look very nice on your bracelet. Maybe a little noisy.
Oh, that's all right. I don't mind jingling a little bit. It gives the boys a chance to know I'm approaching when they're supposed to be doing their homework.
I must say, that's rather sporting of you.
I think it is. I hope they appreciate it. I think I'll take 2 of them.
2? Oh, all righty. Fine. Now, would there be anything else, Mrs. Nelson? Perhaps something for your husband?
Oh, no, thank you. I just bought these garden tools for him.
Oh, yes, so I see. Well, nothing like fresh vegetables from the garden.
Oh, yes, we're planning on quite a nice garden this year.
Of course, it's a lot of work, all that digging and hoeing and raking and weeding. How do you manage to get your husband to do all that stuff?
Well, that's one detail I'll have to figure out on the way home.
Oh, hi, boys.
Oh, hi, Pa.
Hi, Pop. What's the big discussion?
Oh, nothing really. Dave and I were just talking about going fishing.
Oh, it's a nice day for it.
Here, Pop, let me have your coat.
Oh, thanks, son.
We could be up the lake in about an hour.
Yeah, I guess you could at that.
Sure wish my car was running.
Oh, something the matter with your car, huh?
How about it, Pop? You want to go fishing with us?
Oh, no, thanks, Rick. It doesn't sound like much fun to me.
Oh, gee, Pop, fishing's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, it is if you're in the mood for it, but I just don't feel like driving all the way up there and sitting on a wet riverbank all afternoon.
Well, we'll do all the work. I'll drive if you want me to. I'll even dive in and put the fish on your hook.
Yeah, thanks a lot, but I just don't feel up to it. I'm not young enough for fishing anymore.
Open the door, somebody.
Be right there, Mom. Boy, you're really loaded down there.
Don't get worried. I didn't buy out the store, but almost.
It's like Santa Claus out of season.
Yeah, I feel like it, too. I think I got something here for everybody.
I hate to sound vulgar, Mom, but what'd you get me?
Oh, I got you some of those new tennis shirts you wanted.
Oh, thanks.
But don't go swimming in them.
What's the good news for the #1 boy?
Oh, I got you some new socks.
Oh, thanks a lot, Mom.
And don't wear them around without your shoes. You've got practically all your good socks worn out.
As long as we're in the spirit of this thing, did you buy anything for dear old Dad, or shouldn't I ask?
Well, of course I did, but I thought you'd guess.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Don't tell me you bought a box of those extra-long cigars.
It's this rake and hoe. I bought it just for you.
Oh, how about that?
Remember, you stepped on the old rake last summer and broke it.
Oh, yeah, I remember. When you step on a rake the way I did, you don't forget it right away. Hey, how come these are for me?
Well, I figured you might want to use them for the garden later on.
Well, we haven't even spaded up the yard yet. Besides, I thought you were going to take over the garden this year.
Well, it's such a beautiful day, I thought these might give you an incentive.
Incentive? That's a nice, polite way of putting it.
I thought we could run the garden all the way over to the fence this year.
All the way over to the fence?
Well, it's not so far. Isn't that a beautiful rake?
Oh, yeah, it's real nice. Of course, I'm not what you'd call a rake man. I mean, I can take my rakes or leave them alone.
Well, how about it? Can I coax you to turn over a little of the soil this afternoon?
Oh, gee, not this afternoon, Harriet.
Why not?
Well, I sort of half promised the boys I'd take them fishing this afternoon.
Oh, gee, that's swell, Pa. How about that? Golly, when'd you change your...
You wouldn't want me to disappoint the boys, Harriet.
Well, I've been after you for about a month to spade up the garden.
Well, you've got to keep after me and keep after me.
Now, that's for sure.
I was reading an article in the magazine about that just the other day.
It said, happy marriages are based on trickery. The successful wife should never just ask her husband to do something. She should trick him into it.
What magazine did you read that in?
I don't know, one of the family magazines. It was in the barber shop. It was a Racing Form, I think, or the Police Gazette.
I'll try and remember that for the next time.
Well, come on, Rick. Let's get the fishing stuff together. I'll dig up the worms.
Yeah, that's a good idea, boys. I think I'll be inside resting up a bit. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, Pop.
Well, looks like I'm left holding the rake.
Oh, David, who do you think you're kidding? If you don't believe me, ask Pop. Okay, I will. Hey, Pop.
Look, fire!
Sorry, I didn't think you were asleep.
Oh, I wasn't asleep exactly. I was just reading the paper. That is, I had the paper stretched across my face. What's the trouble, son?
David says there's some buried treasure around here. Is he kidding me?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's in this neighborhood especially, but there is a legend that there's buried treasure somewhere in this vicinity. Why?
See, wise guy, what did I tell you? Honest, Pop?
Well, I've never seen any of it, but that's the way the story goes. In fact, there was an article about it in the paper just a couple of days ago.
Come on, David, I bet you we're rich.
Wait a minute. What's this all about?
I bet the buried treasure's right out in our backyard. See what I found when I was digging for worms?
Oh, yeah. Looks like one of those old pennies they used to have years ago.
Looks like gold to me.
Oh, no, Dave. Look, I'll show you with this pencil. If this were gold, it would ring like a little bell when I tapped it. It would, listen to this. See, when I tap this, it just... My golly, this is gold. This looks like one of those Spanish doubloons they showed. Where'd you say you found this?
Out in the backyard. He was digging for worms and he dug it up. What are you doing, Pop?
I'm looking up the number of the coin shop.
Wouldn't that be terrific buried treasure right in our own backyard?
Hello, this is Ozzie Nelson.
Don't give your right name, Pop.
This isn't Ozzie Nelson. This is a man. I wonder if you could give me some information about the Camino Palmero treasure. Well, there was an article in the paper about it the other day. Yeah. Could you give me a description of the coins, please? Yes? Yes? Yes. Thank you very much. Don't get excited, boys, but this is one of the original Spanish doubloons. The treasure could very well be buried right in our own backyard here. How about that, David?
Pop!
David!
Pop!
David!
I'm Ricky.
Oh, hello, Ricky. Buried treasure right in our own backyard. This is unbelievable.
This is fantastic. This is terrific.
This is the end of the first act. Hey, look what I found.
Did you find the treasure, Pop?
No, but I found another coin.
Oh, just one coin?
Well, it shows we're on the right track.
Yeah, but 2 coins in 2 days is hardly worth the trouble, Pop.
Well, how can you say that, Dave? We may be just a couple of feet from the whole treasure. Come on, let's go, boys.
I'm getting kind of hungry.
Me too. Well, you guys do what you want. I'm going to keep digging.
Make sure and call us if you find the treasure.
Stoney, what's the idea of sneaking up on a guy like that?
I wasn't sneaking up on you.
Well, you made a mighty quiet entrance.
Well, gee, I'm sorry. From now on, I'll wear a cowbell around my neck. Kind of jumpy today, aren't you?
Oh, not necessarily. What brings you over here, anyway?
Strictly curiosity. I was watching you dig this hole, and finally I couldn't stand it any longer. What's up, Oz? Or should I say, what's down?
It's nothing that interests you.
Looks like about 3 feet deep. Looks like a trench. Or a... Where's Harriet?
Harriet?
Yeah, I haven't seen her around all day long.
Oh, well, she went downtown shopping. Why?
No special reason. You mind if I sit down there for a little while?
Thorny, I hate to seem rude, but I have a lot of work to do.
Digging, you mean?
Yes, digging.
Well, then I won't bother you.
Thanks a lot.
I'll just sit down there very quietly. When did you say Harriet will be back?
Well, she'll be back when she finishes her shopping.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense. Say, Oz, I'm just wondering if you'd help me with a little financial matter I've been considering.
Okay, what is it?
Well, I've been thinking about buying some life insurance, and I thought you might give me some advice as to the best to buy.
What makes you think I'd know anything about that?
Didn't you take out a large policy on Harriet last year?
For goodness sakes, Thorny, will you stop reading those detective magazines?
Well, you must admit you've been acting mighty suspicious.
Okay, I give up. I can't keep a secret from you anyway. I saw you spying on me from the kitchen window.
Not me. That was Catherine. I was spying on you from the bedroom window. Now, come on, Oz. What's this all about?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Thorny. It's nothing lurid. It's nothing exciting. I'm simply digging for buried treasure.
Buried treasure?
Not so loud.
Oz!
Thorny, do you want the whole neighborhood to hear us?
That's a good idea. Put some cold water on your head. The sun's been beating down on you too long.
No, I'm not kidding. Have you ever heard of the treasure of Camino Palmero?
Yeah, I've heard about it. Never paid much attention to it.
Well, it seems there was this tremendous fortune in gold coins stolen from some Spaniards.
Oh? When was this?
About 200 years ago.
Well, then what are we whispering for? They can't hear us.
Look at these.
A couple of coins. What about?
That's right. They're gold coins. They're Spanish doubloons. And I dug them up from our yard here. There's a good chance the entire fortune is buried here.
Oh, sure, Oz.
Well, you think I'm kidding, but it's worth a try.
I don't think you're kidding. In fact, you could find a lot of money if you went about it a little differently.
What's your suggestion?
We'll keep digging straight down for about 20 feet, then start digging north for a couple of blocks. That should put you right on the First National Bank. There you got millions there.
Hey! What do you want?
Where are you?
Down here.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Deep, isn't it?
Oh, did you dig all that today?
Yeah, how about this? I'm liable to strike oil before I find gold.
But I didn't want you to... I mean, why dig in one spot? Why don't you dig a little bit all over the yard?
Oh, no. That's where we found the coins, right here.
Well, don't you think you better stop now?
Oh, are you kidding? Give up $8 million?
$2 million.
No, it was $8 million according to the paper. It was only $2 million. I'd have quit this morning.
Okay, I just don't want you to get too tired.
Oh, I'm not tired. I am kind of hungry, though. Hey, would you get a rope and lower a sandwich down to me? Or maybe a bowl of soup?
I'll tell you, why don't you stop now and I'll fix you something to eat and then you can try again tomorrow.
Okay. I would like to go downtown.
How do you do, sir? May I help you?
Yes, I'd like to get some information about some coins, please.
Oh, certainly. Thinking of starting a collection?
Yes, a rather large one, I hope.
Well, it's a fascinating hobby. What coins were you interested in?
These coins right here.
Oh, yes. What do you want to know?
Well, I found these in my backyard, and I want to know whether they're the real thing or not.
Well, just let me take a look at them. Well, these are Spanish doubloons, all right. In fact, they look like the same coins I sold to Mrs. Nelson yesterday. Yes, I'm sure they are.
Mrs. Nelson? Are you sure that was her name?
Oh, yes, she has 2 boys, David and Ricky. I used to sell stamps to them.
And you're sure these are the same coins?
Oh, yes, they're the same coins, all right.
Well, why would she... Well, no, it was Ricky that was still and all... No, it doesn't. Yet if she took the... But on the other hand, it wouldn't be just a coincidence.
Well, perhaps if you...
No, she wouldn't do a thing like that.
No, I guess...
You never can tell about her.
Well, you know, all women
No,
are...
I'm sure she would.
No,
Maybe she did.
Oh, stop it. You're driving me crazy.
Look, I'd like to buy 2 more coins exactly like these. Something tells me I've been stabbed in the back.
Are you sure you weren't kicked in the head?
Don't tell me you're going to start digging again.
Oh, hello, dear. No, I'm just putting the equipment away. In fact, I'm going to fill the hole in tomorrow. I've been thinking this whole thing over, Harriet, and this is just a big waste of time. What makes us so sure there's buried treasure here just because we found 4 Spanish doubloons?
No, 2.
Oh, didn't I tell you I found 2 more?
You did?
Yeah, here.
Let me... Why, they're just like the others. Where did you find these?
Well, the same place I found the others. But I'm going to take your advice, Harriet. It's silly to go on with this.
Oh, Ozzie, you can't stop now. We're liable to have millions of dollars buried right here in the backyard.
Well, so what? Who cares? What's millions of dollars? What's buried treasure? Who needs it? We have our health, our happiness. We have each other.
Give me the shovel.
Dig, dear. Dig over here. You might fill in the hole first, and then try this area right through there. Here, I'll take your sweater. You know, this might not be a bad idea at that. If there's anything down there, a woman driver will hit it. Tough work for a woman. I can't bear to watch this. I'm going in the house and lie down. For goodness sakes, what's the matter, dear?
Oh, my back.
Oh, you poor darling. Is your back awfully sore?
Oh, it feels like somebody set fire to my shoulder blade.
Oh, isn't that a shame? Well, I told you shouldn't have done all that digging.
I know, but I just couldn't let you shovel dirt back on top of $2 or $3 million.
Oh, well, who cares about the money? It's your back. Oh, what a shame, dear.
Oh.
Something the matter?
I could have sworn I saw you smile just then.
Oh, how could you think such a thing?
I didn't think it, I saw it.
Harriet, for goodness sakes.
There, you did it again.
Oh, I wouldn't smile at your discomfort any more than you'd smile at mine.
I know.
And you were so sympathetic when I blistered my hands and strained my back digging that deep hole out there. I'll get some water for you, dear.
Ozzie,
Yes, dear?
do you know something I know?
Yes, I do.
Well, in that case, I have something I want to confess to you.
Well, it's about time.
You know that first gold coin that Ricky found? Well, I planted that so that you'd find it. And then I dropped another one in so that you'd keep digging. But honestly, I didn't plant those other coins you found.
Harriet, I have a little confession to make to you, too, dear.
What is it?
Well, let me take the shovel first. I planted the other coins.
You did?
Yeah, pretty funny, eh?
And you got me to do all that digging?
You practically snatched the shovel out of my hand. How could I stop you?
Well, you didn't try very hard.
You're darn right I didn't.
Well, that's a dirty trick. If my back didn't hurt me...
No, wait a minute. You just shoveled for a little while. I've been digging for the past 2 days. How come you made me do all that digging?
Well, how else was I to get the yard spaded up for my garden?
How could you stoop to such a dirty trick? After all, marriages are based on mutual trust and confidence.
No, they're not. They're based on trickery. You said so yourself.
You ought to know better than to listen to me. After all, what do I know about things like that?
Well, I think it was wonderful advice.
Well, at least you got the yard spaded up.
Well, there's a big hole dug in the middle of the yard, if that's what you mean. About the only thing we can plant is a small redwood tree.
Not as bad as that. After all, the boys spaded up a couple of sections over here. Now, I have a feeling we're liable to find a treasure right here in our backyard after all.
What's this about the treasure pond?
Oh, hi, Rick. Well, I was talking about the treasure everybody has in his backyard. All you have to do is spade up the earth, plant a few seeds, and good old Mother Nature does the rest.
Well, that's a beautiful thought, dear. How about starting tomorrow afternoon?
What about our fishing trip?
Oh, yes, the fishing trip, Harriet.
Don't change the subject.
Well, you wouldn't want me to break a promise to the boys. I'll get to the garden one of these days. Besides, there are so many other treasures in a man's backyard. A hammock under the tree, a good book, the singing of the birds.
How about next week for sure?
But the greatest treasure of all, the finest treasure a man can have, is a loving wife.
By next month, maybe?
An understanding wife. She never argues with him, never nags him. She just wants him to be happy. Yes, sir. It's the greatest treasure a man can have.
Ricky, will you go into the hall closet and get your father's old violin, please?
Harriet, how can you say such a thing?
It's not going to work. You can talk all you want to, but my mind's made up and I'm not going to change it.
Yes, dear?
We start work on the garden by next summer, and that's final.